Brandon held the front door open and teased my girlfriend about the amount of luggage she had brought along. Despite us only staying for 2 nights, Millie had packed enough clothes for an entire week. Jessie rushed to hug us, first leaping into her big cousin's arms and then squeezing me around my leg. She was especially eager to show us her new aquarium. Brandon and his wife Lauren were headed out of town for a wedding, and Millie and I were babysitting their 4-year-old daughter while they were away. We quickly received all the necessary instructions, and then Jessie's parents hurried out the door. Given that the baseball game at the stadium was ending, traffic en route to the airport was likely going to be heavy. As usual, Millie's little cousin wanted to order pizzas during our visit, and we watched a children's movie while we ate. And though Jessie's bedtime wasn't until 8 p.m., she was already asleep by the time the credits rolled. Millie tucked her in, and then her and I played board games until we were tired ourselves. I woke up around 2:30 to use the restroom and noticed Millie's face lit up by her phone screen. "Can't sleep?" I asked as I climbed out of bed. "No, and I don't know how you can," she replied. "Can't you hear that?" I paused to listen and noticed faint music playing. "Where is that coming from?" "I don't know," she said, "but it's been driving me crazy for almost an hour." After using the bathroom, I rejoined Millie in our guest room. The music sounded to be coming from up on the 3rd floor, so I suggested we go take a look. Millie hesitated, not wanting to intrude on her cousin's things, but after another 15 minutes, she couldn't stand it any longer. She went to check on Jessie while I climbed the narrow stairway up to the 3rd floor. Following the sound, I turned right at the top of the steps and entered the storage room. I checked several dresser drawers before finding a small vintage music box, and as soon as I picked it up, the music stopped. Millie entered the room and we examined the box together. Inside, we found a small piece of paper tucked among the mechanisms that simply read, "I am free." Millie suggested returning it to the drawer, but I thought it best to bring it back downstairs in case it started playing again. And on our way back to bed, we heard voices coming from Jessie's room. We opened the door to find her TV on, though she was still asleep. Millie cut it off and we managed to get back to sleep ourselves without any further issues. Early the next morning, Jessie woke us up saying she was hungry. Millie went downstairs to prepare breakfast while I went back to sleep. An hour later, I got up to start my day. I freshened up in the bathroom and then walked downstairs to an empty house. Then I saw my girlfriend's note on the counter saying she had taken Jessie to the playground. I found it odd that both downstairs TVs were left on, but decided not to mention it. I just microwaved some leftover pizza and planned to lounge on the couch until it was time to take Jessie to gymnastics class. Later that evening, after tucking her little cousin in again, Millie drove to the store to pick up a bottle of wine while I finished cooking our steak dinner. We then lit a few candles and enjoyed a relaxing meal on her cousin's balcony. Brandon and Lauren arrived home early the next morning bringing breakfast with them, and we all ate together before Millie and I headed out. We showed them the music box we found in the dresser, but neither Brandon nor Lauren recognized it. Lauren asked her daughter if she wanted it, but Jessie dismissed it as old and dirty. Millie offered to clean and polish the brass box and bring it back to see if Jessie might like it better then. And although Jessie didn't seem very interested, we took it with us anyway. That evening, Lauren called asking who had tampered with the timers on their televisions. Since we left, every TV in the house had turned on by itself, and each had a different time. My girlfriend mentioned a similar occurrence in her little cousin's room, and I added that I experienced the same thing while Millie and Jessie were at the playground, but we assured them that we hadn't interfered with anything. Brandon's uncle, an electrician, checked the home's wiring but found no issues. As a quick fix, he simply advised his nephew, if it keeps happening, just unplug them. So for the next 5 years, Brandon and Lauren did just that, every day. And despite replacing every TV in the house, the new ones continued to turn on by themselves as well. However, when they moved into their new place, their electrical problems seemed to stay behind. They had been settled in for months without any more of those odd occurrences. Then, one afternoon after returning from one of Jessie's gymnastic meets, they found a message left on their answering machine. The call was from the new owner of their old house. She had been cleaning out the basement and found something she thought Brandon and Lauren might want back. It was a beautiful antique jewelry box, which she thought might hold some sentimental value for them. And though the box was empty of jewelry, it did contain what appeared to be the ending to a note written on a small piece of paper. And it simply read, "But you're not."